Judio, anyways, I just watched Horizon. I don't even know. This video, it's good. It's really good, but also it's all over the place. It feels like I know Kevin Costner was heavily involved in Yellowstone, which is a TV show, and it's like a western or whatever. This is like a western epic. Yeah, I think it's the best way. It's a western epic that bounces all over the place without feeling messy, but also the movie could have been a lot tighter, but it is so raw. Like, it doesn't shy away from anything. You could tell that like Kevin Costner was the one who like brought this to life, and this is his project. He directed it and things like that, because he just doesn't like, he just does not like, there's no censorship. You're getting like women being hit. You're opening up with a dead baby. You're ending the film with people getting scalped, and just just these bad guys who just they're raping the dad raped the mom, or the dad raped the daughter, I think it said, and then the sons still didn't even care, and just it's just murder, and so it's very barbaric, but it's very like, it just feels, it's not even gritty. It's just like, I don't know. It's well done. I just like, obviously there's a lot of like, I really don't like going back in time and just being art. You're gonna watch 3 hours of this thing about this terrible time. People will be like, oh, I want to go back in time. Yeah, no. I would never want to go back. Don't want to go to the future where everyone is dead and you don't really understand the world. Or and I'll miss so much music. Or I don't want to go back in time, where I have no rights, and so it's like I want to be here now, and I love life, in our time period, but it's also really cool just to go back in time, even though stuff was awful. It's just for the history of it, just to take a look and glance. This movie is for the most part historically accurate, and it's one of the only movies ever I can say like you really feel the historic accuracy, but the world is just so epic. It's like it's an epic with the vibes of like the Lord of the Rings, but then it's a western, but it doesn't have a plot or this kind of sticky tacky. There's a bunch of different antagonists. It does bounce all over the place, but it's like this controlled chaos kind of fluidity that Kevin Costner has, that's very interesting. But this movie is so engaging. Like I had to pee like 5 minutes in the movie, like not 5 minutes, but I had to pee like 30 minutes in the movie. But I was like, and when I have to pee, I gotta go pee. But I just was, you pretty much glued to your seat the whole time. It's just very engaging. But you do feel like it is long. It's 3 hours. You're like, I think after 45 minutes, like the music that it had, the soundtrack, it made you think the movie was about to be done. So for like 2 hours, I'm like, all right, it's gonna be done, and it's another scene, and then it's another scene. That's probably the biggest only drawback of the movie. Is like you're waiting 10 hours. It feels like you're waiting all this time, and you're like, all right, just every scene felt like it was the last scene before the movie ended. But that's also kind of what drew you in and kept you going, and just all the things that were going on were all interesting and engaging. But like the biggest thing is this movie is very, very engaging. I think Kevin Costner is somewhat of a good director, but I think this story is magnificent. I don't know. It's not a masterpiece, but it's kind of a masterpiece. So I don't know. I'm hearing fireworks or whatever, but I can't call it a masterpiece because it is just. But it's not even a must watch. It's a really, really very visceral experience, and the story is magnificent. Okay, yeah. Definitely, it's not even like you watch it like you're like it's just I don't know, it's very good. It's very like it has to me. I have to put it in the category of Lord of the Rings, because Lord of the Rings, the scenery alone is fantastic. Again, Dune probably goes in the same category as all three of these, where the scenery and just the all the elements, the visuals, what everything you're seeing on screen alone deserves to be a masterpiece and a special piece of film, because just that special, just that unique, it's just that fresh and visceral. The story rise, all the elements like that. That's kind of a different thing. But just what you're seeing, the eye test it blows your mind, kind of. Not blows your mind, but it blows you away. Yeah, awesomeness. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be watching this again. Just because just like I said, like the eye test is just so cool. Just seeing everything, you're like, wow. And it's just so uncensored, It's just like there's no studio saying we got to make this PG. Nah, bro. People, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like Kevin Costner does a really, really good job of giving everyone their, for the most part, okay, for giving everyone their dues. Like the Indians get their dues, and then just I don't know, or even just the women, or just even the black character in the beginning, just getting a role that's not a throw off. I don't know. I just feel like this movie didn't shy away from a lot of things, but it knew what it was, and it didn't try and do the Hamilton where it's like trying to recreate history, even though it was a bunch of white people. But I love Hamilton. I love what they did. But I'm just saying, they stuck to something, and I think they did what they did well. Yeah, and it's kind of weird just me saying this, but I was like, oh, this is a lot of white people. But we also got to see a bunch of Indian people. This is the first time in my life that I've seen that many Indian people, like just Native Americans, that long on screen. Even though they're in these stereotypical kind of racist roles, not racist, but what I'm saying, like and not like whatever type thing, never, like a proper role. Besides the historic accuracy of it, try always seeing them in tribal thing. You don't see them in like a rom-com, or what I'm saying, like that. There's no Star Wars, Native American Star Wars character and stuff like that. So, but overall, I really, really thoroughly enjoyed this movie, and it's one of the most engaging movies I've watched. It just like Stanley Kubrick is very engaging, and he kind of makes you watch, but he has a kind of horror undertones. I think this is besides Kubrick, I think this is one of the only movies that really just had you engaged the whole time. I can't say if it's Kevin Costner, just the story itself, but I got to give props to Kevin Costner for the whole piece. Just tip my cap to you. This is a good time. I'm definitely going to watch the second one, and they said they're going to have 4 installments. I'm going to watch every single one. I don't know why I'm thinking about it, but I'm going to say it because of my YouTube channel. There's a lot of pro comparisons I had to, like, in sports, you compare other players to other players, so you can just kind of get this mental imagery of what they could be like. And there's like a draft where they're bringing a bunch of new players into the league that's already established. And I just kept thinking, I was like, it's like if you had like the scenery awesomeness of Lord of the Rings, but then you had like westernness, and then you had like elements from like the Mandalorian, and just that's what it reminded me. It's like Lord of the Rings, Mandalorian, and then this just unique western plot listing. Like, and I really, really loved. That's one of probably the best things about this movie, besides it being uncensored and the scenery. It's just like there's no plot. There's not really a big thing. They're just kind of just living. They're just doing stuff. And I really, really love that. And that really, really made this movie shine and really excel. It's even Pirates of the Caribbean, there's plots, just be and be great. And it was fantastic. And the story itself is marvelous, magnificent. All right, anyways,